happen in the near future in crypto. We don't know what will be happening in the far future. All we have is references of trends that have happened in the past. And there was a time where there was no such thing as Bitcoin season, altcoin season. There was a time when there was no such thing as Bitcoin dominance, altcoin dominance, Ethereum flipping as narratives that are talked about on YouTube, Twitter, and so forth, social medias. There was a time, right? And so who knows what the future will be? And for me, all of the narratives that we are excited about of the proof of history, on chain data, proof of when stakes are coming out, proof of adoption as far as the number of stakers or percentage and length of time that the average stake occurs, proof of APY, hex on hex returns, things like that. Those things are amazing for partly marketing of these future releases of new projects, such as pulsechain, pulsex, and the game theories behind why they probably would do well. So I can see the narrative and excitement and a lot of people participating and excited to jump into pulsechain, pulsex, trade their PRC20s, bridge across their ERC20s. It can be really a fast catalyst to critical mass of the pulse chain narrative in collaboration with Ethereum to flip, potentially Bitcoin's network value. In my what I'm going to be talking about most over the coming years is uh, supplanting the Bitcoin altcoin season narrative with the HEX as the store of value, yield generating value, sovereign contract, even without contract on contract encapsulation like Hedron and Maxi and other products will do. Really, the core of the value to me is still HEX. HEX is uh, uh, 2,800 lines of code or something along those lines. And there's certainly benefit to derivative plays, and there's benefit to people being inventive and sequestering hex, whether it's staked in a yield or if it's simply liquid somehow and sequestered away. Basically, that just means encapsulated in some form, whether it's inside of a bridge, like Pulse Ramp will act as a sequestering of hex off of the Ethereum chain and held inside the bridge, and then issue out a PRC20 that will be hexed as well, in addition to the native hex of a fork on Pulse Chain. So there's all kinds of ways that the narrative of hex will become dominant again, I think, in the coming years. Right now, the excitement over the year or two post Pulse Chain will be looking at those charts, looking at all the PRC20s that are traded on the DEX, looking at the most prominent number that shows when you first sign into the DEX, which is going to be the pulsex buy and burn narratives. You're going to see a lot of excitement, adoption, speculation, and probably profitability, in my opinion, right? But to me, still, it will pivot to a almost like a Bitcoin altcoin season. They're in my picks altcoin season, as far as PRC20s and all the things that may dominate in that ecosystem. And then, who knows what happens with Ethereum as long as we're collaborative, especially in the first years. I don't think that there's necessary tribal fights. I don't think that there's necessary saying your idea is worse than the one that we're launching as deflationary and proof of stake and the system state of Ethereum basically being forked. I want to prevent us from being combative, because at the end of the day, I got involved with cryptocurrency because of Bitcoin, and I bought Hex because of Ethereum. And Richard updated his worldview, and he spent a solid hour yesterday or more on Mario Narwhal's hosted channel, promoting Ethereum and promoting all of the amazing things of DeFi that these inventors and these people, these coders and developers and communities have created. He even had said yesterday that, in his opinion, the invention of Uniswap as a exchange without it serves as an oracle, that there is no the reason that, even things like leverage and things like that are tamed because it's on chain transactions, and that the AMM versus a centralized order book on a third, on a counterparty risk platform such as Coinbase or Gemini or whatever, that's actually more uh, useful and probably a better invention, in his opinion, than Bitcoin. I thought that was a very powerful statement that he made yesterday. And of course, we still respect the origin story of this asset class, which is Bitcoin. And so I really want to avoid, as best we can, to take the higher road. I know that a lot of us like the gladiatorial fight, and we love the gore between people that are very good at debating the narratives of, us versus them, or them versus us. But I really don't think that that's necessary. I think a lot of our emotional maturity of being in this community for 3 years plus is coming to light now. Our networks are opening, our doors are opening. People talk about us that never would have in the past because, they see the truth of the chart, but they also see the truth of the code, and they see that the community, stands up with integrity, or with public facing. I think that that's one of our greatest strengths, is our skill set and our development and maturity inside of the community, above and beyond other faces. So yeah, I really like where we're going. I love that the community, even in turbulent times, sometimes we do eat our own and we cannibalize, and I hate that part of it. But outside of it, a majority of the movement is really the same story as 13 years ago. Remove middlemen, banks that lever other people's capital or abuse the Federal Reserve access to currency at detriment to the population. That's what we're trying to accomplish. We're doing it through casino games, and we're doing it through speculation, and we're doing it through all kinds of different systems in cryptocurrency. But really, I don't want us to lose the plot. And I think that we're one of the best advocates for that plot. Again, with the leadership of Richard, as wild and outrageous as he can be, uh, his message has merit and has heart to it, and I appreciate that. And I think that we can become, quite mature in the cryptocurrency space as leaders.